Okay, so we're starting recording again. We're doing the usual. Let's summon our piece of paper. And summon our pencil. And I advertised before that we're doing the midpoint formula. We're not ready. We're going to continue with the distance formula. We still got a little bit more to do with the distance formula. So let me write that down on top. We're still doing the distance formula. Let me show you. Let me again give you the formula for the distance formula, which is d equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared in parentheses plus y2 minus y1 squared in parentheses, and it's all, we take the square root of that eventually. Now, let me show you problem number 2. This is before we start the midpoint formula. We're continuing with the distance formula. Problem number 2, but I need to show you another problem. What if you were asked for the distance of these 2 points, between these 2 points? -5, 1, that's one of the points, and 7, -3. You need to see this example to make sure that you don't get mixed up when presented with something like this. Okay, so let's follow the formula. Let's do exactly what it says. Like we said last time, first set this up as being, this one will be our x1, this will be our y1. We did that exactly in problem number 1. Here's problem number 2. And this one is x2, y2. All right, once we set that up, that won't be on your paper, that won't be on your test. You'll have to set that up yourself, but then you're ready. You need to remember the formula. That won't be on your test. Remember, you need to remember that one. But once you remember the formula and you set yourself up properly, I don't think you'll find it all that bad. Okay, what is x2? x2 is -3. You can just look across the way. You can see that x2 is 7. Sorry about that. x2 is 7. Okay, I badly need that eraser. Again, let's try it. Let's hope that I can get it. Okay. If I were just a little faster at this, it would be nice, but can't always have it. Now, well, let's hold on. Just bear with me for a minute. Here we go. And let's take the hard eraser. And now I come over here and I need to erase this. Apologize. Okay, I come back over here and I regain my pencil and I'm back in business. Okay, so x2 is 7. Minus is part of the formula. x1 is -5, and here I need a parentheses, -5. And then I need another parentheses. Remember, I started a parentheses over here, just like it says above, squared, plus y2. I look across the way, and that's a -3. Minus is part of the formula. y1, look across the way, you see it's a 1. Close the parentheses, squared. Let's keep going. We got to clean this up. What is 7 minus -5? We've had this early in the semester. 7 minus -5, that's 7 plus 5. So this becomes a 12, positive 12. I can put the parentheses around it or I don't have to. That's a 12 squared. What is -3 and -1? It's -4. I still need the parentheses since it's a minus squared. Okay, let's keep cleaning this up. The next line reads 12 squared, which is 144. -4 squared is -4 times -4, which is positive 16. And so I got 144 and 16. The next line reads 160. And you'd say, okay, look, that's what I got. That's my answer. That the distance is a square 160. But no, I got to do more than that. I got to go to scrap paper. And I have to break down the square root of 160 into 2 parts. We've had this before. A perfect square called 16, and the other part of it is 10. 16 times 10 is 160. So what's the square root of 16? It's 4. Square root of 10 is a leftover. There's nothing we can do about it. So when you simplify this radical 160, well, like stuff that we've done before, it's 4 square root of 10, and there is the final answer. That is what we're expecting as our final answer. Okay, so that's it for distance formula. Let's start. We've got some more room on the paper. I try to use it if I can. We've got some more room on the paper. Let's move this up. And here we go. We go up. And let's start the midpoint formula. Now we're ready for the midpoint formula. So we'll have to continue it on the next video. But here, let's get started with the midpoint formula. Midpoint formula is as follows. Midpoint formula. They call it M, midpoint formula. Let's call it M, big M. And it's equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma, this y1 plus y2 divided by 2, comma. Okay, so now let me give you an example right away, right on this. We can actually do it. If we have to continue the next page, we can, but maybe let's see what happens. Here is the question. Here are 2 points, 8, comma, -4. And the other point is 6, comma, -10. 6, comma, -10. And the question is, what is their midpoint? What is the midpoint in between the two? Okay, so again, that's what's on your paper. What do? Here's what you do. Call 8x1 and -4y1, just like we did before. This is x2 and y2. And now let's follow the instructions of the formula. The formula says take x1, which is 8, add to that x2, which is 6, and divide by 2. Then on the other side, take y1, which is -4, add to that y2, which is -10, and divide by 2. Okay, what do we get? We get 14, 8 plus 6 is 14 divided by 2, which is 7. -4 and -10, which is -14 divided by 2, which is -7. And here is the midpoint between those 2 points. This problem is over. So that does a good job of illustrating how to deal with a midpoint. So I think we can move on in the next video to more about graphs, etc. We're still dealing with 2.1. We're not finished. We're still dealing with 2.1, and it belongs to homework number 7. So we end the video on that note.